Update. My 31 female best friend 32 female is telling me that my boyfriend 34 male cheated with her, but it says that she's lying. How do I get to the truth and then salvage whichever one of these relationships is worth saving? Original post. I've been best friends with Becca since 2010. We were college roommates, and then after we graduated, we still lived together up until I moved in with my boyfriend Nate in 2019. One thing about Becca is that she's always had a drinking problem for as long as I've known her. And she's done stuff while drunk that has sometimes caused problems in our friendship. She does try to stay sober, but every few years something will happen to make her start drinking again, which is what happened earlier this summer. So last Saturday, Becca called me because she was drunk somewhere and needed a ride home. I couldn't go pick her up because I had flu, and I was in cold medicine, so Nate went to get her instead. A couple of days after that, I started noticing that Nate was being weird with his phone. Normally, he leaves it out on a coffee table if we're watching TV or whatever, but he started putting it face down, so I couldn't see what notifications he was getting. My first thought was that he was trying to plan a surprise. And because of the timing, I thought that maybe Becca was helping him. Yesterday, I saw Becca. I told her that Nate was being sneaky all of a sudden, and asked her if he said anything about maybe proposing soon. She asked me if I looked through his phone, and I said no. Becca started crying and told me that she and Nate hooked up in his car that night that he came to pick her up. Her excuse was that she was really drunk and didn't fully know what she was doing. She said she'd been texting him since, telling him that he needed to tell me what happened or else she was going to. I asked Becca to show me the texts, but they were all in the app Signal, which deletes messages after a day. So all I could see was that she and Nate had a chat thread, but nothing that they said. I told her to text Nate in front of me, so I could see what he said. And she did, but we got no read receipt and so no response at all, so it didn't prove anything. I asked Becca if she was sure she wasn't so drunk that she maybe imagined it, or thought a dream was real, and she absolutely lost it on me. And said that she knows that she's horrible when she drinks, but that she's not freaking delusional, and she doesn't make things up. She said that I could believe her or not and it's my choice, but she was telling me the truth. I just said I needed to go home and talk to Nate. So when I got home, I confronted Nate with what Becca had said, and he acted shocked and denied that anything like that happened at all, and said he didn't know why I should think so or say so. He said that he had just given Becca a ride home, and the only thing that happened was that they talked about how he and I had been together for a long time and how we should get married already. He admitted they were talking on Signal the next couple of days, but he said that it was about exactly what I thought, that he was asking her about engagement rings and what kind of proposal I would want. Nate replied to Becca's message from before, asking her if she made up a story about them hooking up to not ruin the surprise about his proposal. And she texted him back that there was no proposal and to stop playing dumb. So then Nate called her pretending like I wasn't in the room and told her that she needed to stop whatever she was trying to do because we were on the verge of breaking up and he'd rather just have the surprise be ruined. But Becca just kept telling Nate to stop lying until he got angry and hung up on her. I really didn't know what to think, and I still don't. Right now, Nate is really upset and not really talking to me much. He says that it's bad enough that Becca acted insane and ruined his plan to propose, but it's even worse that I believed her lies even a little and would think that he would ever cheat on me. Becca texted me saying she was sorry, but otherwise I haven't talked to her either. I don't want to think that Nate would cheat on me or that he'd take advantage of Becca if she was that drunk, but I feel like I can't be 100% sure because I've known Becca for 13 years, and I also just can't believe that she'd lie to me about something this important. And I know that she does have a drinking problem, so I can believe that she'd sleep with my boyfriend if she was drunk out of her head. She's done some pretty awful things in the past when she's drunk. I don't want to wrongly accuse Nate of something he didn't do, but I don't want to be an idiot. Now for the top advice before reading the update. What else has Becca done to you while drunk? I feel like more past context is needed. Does she normally black out? Forget things? Misread situations? Has she hooked up with a past partner? Hit on guys you like? Please provide more background. The fact that they're using Signal to communicate definitely makes me think it's something sketchy and not some innocent thing. I am 60% believing her, but please provide additional details. So in the past when she's been drunk, Becca's blacked out and started fights with me and other people. She'll say really out of line, insulting things. She's kicked people out of our apartment because she didn't remember inviting them in. She's accused me of stealing clothes from her because I was wearing an outfit that looked like something that she owned. That kind of thing. She's never hooked up with anyone that I was dating, but she's definitely hooked up with guys that she knew I was interested in. Wow, that's tough. I'm sorry you're in this situation, because she seems like a total unreliable narrator. But also your boyfriend doesn't seem like he's acting that trustworthy either. What's your gut feeling? I don't know. I really don't think that Nate would cheat, but I just can't imagine that Becca would completely make this up. Both of their stories somewhat make sense to me, but I don't know. I don't know why Becca would be saying this if it wasn't true, but I'm afraid of deciding I definitely believe her and then having her later realize she forgot she hooked up with somebody else that night or something. From a new device, you can add the app and recover up to 30 days of messages by hitting the Restore Recover after being prompted with your 30-digit passphrase. Remember, nothing is deleted from servers. All your stuff is out there. I don't care what app you use. There is no such thing as privacy on a smartphone or computer for the average user. Now for the update. So on Thursday night, after I got everyone's advice, I told Nate that I had found out a way to recover deleted messages from Signal. He immediately took out his phone and opened the app and asked me to show him how to do it. So I already thought that must mean he was telling me the truth because he didn't panic or hesitate at all. Which was good, because when I tried to download Signal on my old phone, it turned out that it's too old to support the current version of the app, so it wouldn't work. Nathan asked me if we were going to have to go out and buy a new phone for me to believe that he was telling me the truth, and he said that he was willing to do it if that's what it would take. I told Nate it wasn't that I didn't believe him, I just wanted to have some proof, because I just couldn't understand why Becca would lie about it. Nate said that she would lie about it because she's a freaking crazy drunk witch. And there's literally no way for a non-crazy person to understand why she would do anything. And once the messages prove that, he didn't ever want me talking to her again. Then he had to get up because if we were going to go to the Verizon store, we had to get there before it closed. By then, I completely believed Nate anyway. So I told him we didn't have to go anywhere or get a new phone, and that I believed him and I knew he didn't cheat on me, and that he would never do that. Nate said that he would hope I know that, and that he didn't understand why I didn't take his word for it in the first place. I started trying to explain why I didn't want to just immediately dismiss what Beck had said happened, but Nate said that he really couldn't listen to that right now. I said that was fair and agreed that I would cut Becca off. But at first, I wanted to try to get her to admit that nothing happened. Nate said fine, but to call her with my phone on speaker, because he thought he also deserved to hear her admit that she was lying. So I called Becca and I said the same thing to her that I said to Nate, that I figured out how to recover deleted messages on Signal. She asked me why I would need to do that, so that was when I knew for sure that she was definitely making it up, and not just confused somehow. I said it was because I wanted to have proof of what she and Nate talked about. Becca asked me if I saw their messages, so I lied and said yes. After that, Becca just went silent, until finally I asked her if she was going to say anything. Then she asked me if that meant that we were engaged now. So then I really just lost it on her and screamed at her, asking her if she was freaking serious. And what the heck was wrong with her? And how could that possibly be all that she had to say? Becca started screaming back, telling me to calm down and about how obviously I never believed her anyway, because it's not like we broke up over it. I was crying by that point, and because of that I couldn't really say anything else. So then Nate told Becca to get lost and to never ever contact either one of us ever again, and hung up on her. A minute later, Becca sent me a completely unhinged text that I'm quoting here verbatim apart from changed names. Courtney, you are supposed to be my friend for life. You are supposed to be there for me. You are supposed to be my person. But then you meet Nate and now you only care about Nate. Everything is about Nate. Tell me why Nate comes to pick me up when I call you. I called you, not your precious freaking Nate. I only want you to see how messed up this is. But do you? No, of course you don't. Of course you choose Nate over me like you always do, and like you always will. You pretend to care about me, but I can't see you don't care. It is pathetic, Courtney. You are a pathetic woman who would choose a man over a friend. Since you have to have your sweet, perfect little baby Nate do it for you, I will. Goodbye, Courtney. Is that what you want? Goodbye forever. I hope you got what you freaking want. There were the 3 dots after that showing she was still typing more, but I blocked her before she sent it. I don't care about anything else that she has to say. I'm sure it's all just going to be more BS about why this is my fault, or justifications about why what she did wasn't that bad and I should forgive her. I know Nate is probably right, and there's no non-crazy logic behind why Becca would stoop to doing something like this, but obviously I've still been thinking about it. And my best guess is that whoever said that Becca still blames me and Nate, apparently mostly Nate, for her being a drunk mess who can't get her life together, is right. It seems like she somehow thought that if she said she hooked up with Nate, I'd break up with him, but still wants to be friends with her and then everything would magically be fixed. As far as stuff with Nate, I asked him if he thought he could ever forgive me for doubting him, and he said that since I came to my senses and I cut Becca off, he guesses we can try to put it behind us. I don't think he's still going to propose anytime soon. After this, I probably wouldn't if I was him. And from what Nate said, he didn't actually do any planning yet other than asking Becca about rings, and if I'd think a public proposal was tacky or not. All he was doing so far was trying to get ideas without me knowing he was talking to her about it. So just based on that, I think probably it's not going to happen for a while if it still does at all. Also, thanks to everyone for the advice and support. I know I didn't respond to many comments, but I really did appreciate everyone who cared enough to want to help. Wow, this is a perfect example of how drugs and alcohol affects behavior and logical thinking. BFF thought admitting to sleeping with your serious boyfriend would result in a positive or a win for her. Sorry this is going to delay your future with Nate, but hopefully with a bit of time behind you, everything will be back on course. Maybe invest in some security devices like cameras and rape alarm in case Becca approaches. I'm guessing you haven't seen the last of her. I'm sure she won't just go away. I'm already expecting her to try to get our other friends to get in the middle of everything as soon as she figures out she's actually blocked. And I'm not just ignoring her. I hope she won't try to do anything else, but I guess at this point I really can't know with her. I'm hoping things are okay with Nate. I think in a while they will be. I would get out ahead of that. Message your mutual friends and explain the basics of what happened. Tell them you're not asking them to take sides or cut her off, but you expect that she will try to get to you through them and you're asking them to respect your decision to end that friendship. I have something like that drafted. I just know that once I send it, everyone is going to want to talk to me about it, and I'm just not looking forward to it. I'll do it pretty soon though. It sounds like you are the most patient one of her friends regarding her drunken mishaps. I'm sure your other friends will be on your side once you explain her lies. Had you been pressuring Nate to propose at all? Not even. We've talked about it a little just because I'm getting into my 30s and whatever, but to be honest, getting married isn't even that big a deal to me. Or to Nate either, I don't think. I actually somewhat have the impression that Becca bringing it up made Nate think that I had said something to her. So that's why he decided to ask now. But obviously this doesn't seem like the best time for conversation about it. So that's just my feeling. Well, if it isn't something you've been pressing for or even want necessarily, just concentrate on getting your relationship back to where you want it. Sounds like if you stay no contact with Becca, you have a good shot of that happening. I'm curious if Becca ever said anything to you when she hooked up with guys you liked? Do you think she was blocking you on purpose to keep you for herself? Did she try anything with Nate before you were exclusive? Or was she drunk and looking for hookups? I don't think she ever put enough thought into those hookups to be malicious like that. She was just inconsiderate and would go after whoever. Last story. My girlfriend, 28 female, doesn't want me, 27 male, to keep our current dog because she's old and thinks she'll cost more money than we need to spend. How can I respectfully tell her I'm not getting rid of the dog? Me and my girlfriend have been dating for 6 years. I brought a dog into the relationship who was 5 years old at a time. The dog is currently 11. I had conversation with my girlfriend about this and the possibility of another dog. The first thing she said was, no, dogs in general are expensive. Which reminds me, you should get rid of the brat we have right now, because all dogs like her are so much more expensive. After she said this, I told her that the dog was my best friend and something I would never get rid of because she means too much to me. I told her that the dog matters more than money. She got mad, and she said that the dog should matter less than what she wants, because we've been dating for 6 years. I simply got up and left the room to calm down. The dog has never been a problem. She hasn't had to do anything with her other than feed her at night when I'm at work. The dog hasn't ever been a problem in the time we've been dating. She's mostly lazy, and the most she does is a daily walk that my girlfriend hasn't ever had to do. I've owned this dog for longer than we've been dating, and this dog gave me the love that I wasn't able to get from anyone. How can I tell my girlfriend that I'm not going to get rid of the dog? I don't want to cause more problems than needed, but I do care about my girlfriend, and I don't want to lose her because of something as stupid as this. Now for the advice. How can I tell my girlfriend that I'm not going to get rid of the dog? You tell her straight. I'd be concerned at this point about how she treats your dog when you're not around. To word this in the gentlest way possible, I don't suppose it's with kindness. I seriously think you need to walk away with your dog. Yeah, I would seriously be concerned that one day you're gonna come home to find your dog gone, with your girlfriend saying, "Gosh, he must gotten out and run away, I guess," and not knowing if she actually drove him 100 miles away and abandoned him in the woods, or took him to a vet and had him put down. How about getting rid of the girlfriend? Like, for real, why you want be together with someone who wants to throw away an animal when I could get ill and cost money? What will happen when you get ill and cost her money? Or a child? She's unemployed, so I would be caring for myself with my own money. And we've talked about the children thing before, but she believes children are more important than animals, says they are a lifelong responsibility. You should get rid of her, because unemployed girlfriends are more expensive. Edit. Thank you everyone for the advice. I didn't think there would be so many people helping with this. I have decided, when I have time, to get rid of the girlfriend. I can't be with someone who, like many of you have said, who will not care for me when I'm old and sick with her, or who will divorce and leave me when our children turn out to be too expensive. Me and Pupper will live our best life without that weight on our shoulders.
Update. Am I the a-hole for choosing my sister-in-law over my brother? Original post. Me, female 17, brother male 29, and sister-in-law female 29. My brother Jake and sister-in-law Ashley had been together since they were 15. They got married when they were 20 and have 3 kids together. Ashley and I have always been close. She's like the big sister I never had. My whole family love and adore her, and her and Jake always seem to have the perfect relationship. A couple of weeks ago, Jake went on a trip with some friends for the weekend because it was one of their birthdays. Ashley didn't go and stayed home with the kids. However, during the trip, Jake only checked in with Ashley once, which was when he arrived at the destination and never again after that. It was unusual because he's always on his phone and told Ashley and my family that he would check in. So Ashley decided to call one of Jake's friends to see if something had happened, but when his friend answered, he told Ashley that there was no trip, and he had no idea where my brother was. After that, we told Ashley to come and stay with us for the rest of the weekend, and she was a bit distraught. My brother eventually came home on the Monday and said that he had lost his phone, which was absolute BS, and we all knew it. Before he returned, we asked Ashley what she wanted to do with what she knew, and she told us not to bring it up with Jake and not to jump to conclusions, and that she will handle it. After my brother arrived, he and Ashley headed back to their house. A few days later, my brother messaged my mom to see if he could stay at ours for a bit, but he didn't say why. Not too long after, Ashley messaged us and told us that she confronted him about the trip and how she knew it didn't exist. He kept denying it and said that she was just being crazy and that he just lost his phone. But he eventually confessed that he was at a co-worker's house and that he had been hooking up with her for a few months. His excuse was that Ashley and him hardly been intimate anymore, and so he needed to find someone to fill his needs. Ashley ended up kicking him out, and they decided to get a divorce. My brother ended up moving with us until he finds a place of his own and until the divorce is finalized. I haven't spoken to him since he moved in, and don't plan to. All I can do is look at him in disgust. I have so much hatred towards him after what is done to Ashley. My parents are disappointed in him, but still love him because he is their son. They told me to forgive him because he is my brother, but I just can't. And I have started going to Ashley's every day after school to help with the kids and take some stress off her. My brother found out about this and is mad at me for going over there. He told me to cut her off since they are not together anymore and says she's no longer a part of our family, so there is no need for me to go see or speak to her. I told him that she will always be part of our family because she's the mother of your kids. And just because you messed up your relationship with her doesn't mean I have to. I will always love her, and I will not be cutting her off. I told him that I will choose her over him if it comes to that. After that argument, he has not spoken to me or even looked at me. Every time he sees me, he walks the other way. My parents have told me to apologize and fix things with him, but I don't think that will ever happen. My other brothers have sided with him too, and I'll think I'm a piece of crap for choosing Ashley over my brother. Deep down, I still love my brother. I don't want to lose him, but what he did is unforgivable to me. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Your brother is a prick, and the rest of your family are enabling his bad behavior. Maybe when Ashley takes away the grandkids, they might change their tune. You are being a decent human being. Also, not only is he telling Opie to avoid Ashley for his own misdeeds, even if there was a viable reason to be mad at her, like mutual breakup, whatever, his kids live there. He's telling his sister not to go hang with his kids because Ashley's no longer family. That's not how it works when you have kids. He's lucky his sister is as mature as she is and is still cultivating a relationship with his kids. And he's lucky Ashley wants that. As someone said down thread, Opie seems to be the most mature in her family, which is sad, but good for Opie and good for Ashley. Also, so he just took a week off from his whole family to hang out at his side chicks, so is now essentially cheating on his whole family. Every parent deserves a break, and it's wonderful when partners can provide that opportunity for each other. But it has to be based on the truth and trust and respect. When you lie to get away from your family, I think that adds another level of screw up to the already messed up lying to cheat. Right? Is there any mystery to why they aren't being intimate? She's exhausted. Does her husband care? No! Heading off to go screw my coworker, and you should apologize to me if you disagree with it. My poor prick. It has needs. And the parents. What message are they sending? Opie, good for you for supporting your sister-in-law. You're a wonderful friend. And a human. Not the a-hole. She's been in your life since you were what? 3 years old? I think she's just as much your sibling as he is at this point. My oldest brother cheated on his wife years ago. She's been my big sister since I was 4, so I chose her. When people gave me the "but he's your brother" line, I reminded them that she has been my sister for almost as long. My husband and I supported her and opened our home to her when she didn't want to go home. We fed her when she would stop eating. We did our best to take care of her. Sadly, in my case, my sister-in-law chose to get back together with my brother, and they no longer speak to me for different reasons. But I can live my life knowing that I did what I thought was right, and my integrity is intact. Not the a-hole. Ashley is the mother of your nieces/nephews. She's the mother of your brother's children, so whether he likes it or not, Ashley is going to be part of the family dynamic, divorced or not. I don't get your parents. That's their grandchildren who he has decided to hurt, as well as Ashley. You have every right to be angry. I would not apologize. I would continue to help with the kids. If he wants to apologize to you for being a prick about the whole thing, then whatever. By this, I mean being mad at you for going over to Ashley's to help with his kids. Now for the update. Firstly, I just wanted to answer a common question I keep getting. Is my brother still in contact with his kids? No, he is not. He has not seen or spoken to them since he was kicked out. His own choice. Okay, so I have not spoken to my brother since our argument. He refuses to talk to me, as well as acknowledge me. My parents still insist that I apologize and make things right with them. And I have told them I would try to make things right, but I will not be apologizing. However, my brother does not want to hear anything I say. I've spoken with my parents about everything and how I feel, but it was pointless. They don't even try to understand my side of things. It's just all about my brother to them. Ashley and the kids are doing great. Her family came down to support her and help out. I also still go over there whenever I can. My parents have not seen the kids or spoken to them either. Ashley has made it clear that they can visit anytime they like, but because my brother doesn't want us to have anything to do with her, they refuse to go over. So Ashley plans to gain full custody of the kids, to which my brother has agreed upon. This was the only time they have spoken to each other since they split up. Ashley's also planning to move closer to her parents, which I'm sad about, but also happy for her and the kids. They deserve to be happy, and away from all this toxicity. I don't know if my brother and I will ever fix our relationship, but I honestly don't care anymore. I'm planning to go no contact with him once he leaves. There's not much more to say. My brother is still behaving like a child, and my parents and brother still stand by him. Thank you everyone for the kind words and advice. I think it is so pathetic that your parents are giving up a relationship with their own grandchildren for a man who only cares about the wrong part of his anatomy. I wish Ashley all the best going forward with her and her kids' lives. A little advice: as soon as you can, go no contact with your parents and brother, since they are obviously punishing the wronged parties here being Ashley and the innocent parties being the kids. Any man who can walk away from his children for a fling isn't a man at all. Just you wait and watch. When Jake or either of his parents are on their deathbed, they'll emotionally blackmail Ashley to allow her to visit them one final time. That, or if Jake ever needs some sort of blood transfusion, donate an organ or both, he'll expect his kids to step up and be the better/bigger person, because this is what families do for one another. It doesn't matter what I did to you or your mother. I am your father, and you are obligated to help me. No, he's going to get a new girlfriend and spin "she keeps the kids away," and then he will randomly start demanding parenting time to impress the new girlfriend. OMG, this. My daughter's biological father hasn't seen her in 15 years. She doesn't even remember him. His family used to blame me, but through the years, they definitely realized I was not at fault. They all reached out and check on her and asked to see her when they are visiting her cousins nearby us, and I have always obliged. I can tell whenever he is in a new serious relationship, as he will start posting stolen pictures of her on social media and talk about how much she loves her when she could not even pick him out in a crowd. We are not actually connected on social media, but his brother will occasionally send me a screenshot saying, "Look at this BS." What a pathetic human piece of garbage of a dad he is. I hope Ashley gets child support. Her kids deserve this. Your parents aren't good either. They are enabling your brother on his bad behavior. They took it too far by abandoning their own grandkids. I hope karma hits your brother like a train someday. Ashley is smart for not filing for child support until she's left the state or county to be closer to her parents. If she did it now, then Opie's brother could get a judge to order her to stay or leave without the kids as her choice. But if she files after, they can't make her move again. Your comment leaves out very big details. In all of the US and most other countries, a judge can order the kids returned to the state/city in which they have established residency. It takes 6 months for a new residency to be established. Yeah, so I pray Ashley doesn't file until whatever deadline there is passed, because I doubt the loser ex will care enough to fight it. Probably use it as a bargaining chip to pay less, but at least he's out of her hair. Last story. My husband doesn't know I plan to leave him. I've been married for almost 5 years and we have one child together. After we got married, it was like a full 180 in his behavior. He went from being attentive and sweet to no affection whatsoever. He gets super defensive when I bring it up or when we have fights in general. He is short-tempered even with our child who is 2. He also lets her walk all over him. I'm a stay-at-home mom and enrolled full-time in college. I will be finishing my first degree in a few months. Currently, I take care of all the finances. All he does is bring in the money. I make sure bills are paid and keep him in check with his reckless spending. If not monitored, he will blow through his paycheck and credit card balance within days, leaving nothing for gas and personal expenses for ourselves and our kid. I have done everything possible to get him out of debt and start rebuilding his credit, including his current credit card. Now, it's a fight to get him to watch our kid for me to do schoolwork doing online classes currently. Everything he wants to do is made to be more important. In some ways, I feel he knows I'll leave when I finish school. He has cheated on me a few times now. The most current was over these past holidays and involved sending pictures of his credit card to the girl he was talking to. I found the messages shortly after he did it and canceled the card before any damage was done. He has since lost his trust in keeping the card, so I hold on to it now. This last time, I felt a change in myself. While I was mad he did it, I felt no other reactions or emotions. I no longer trust him, but until I get my degree, I'm stuck where I'm at. I've told him as much, and said if he wanted any hope of saving the marriage, he has until I get my degree. I have no intentions of staying with him though. Once I have my degree, I plan to pay all our debts, my student loans, and paying to take my name off our car title and transferring the loan into his name only. This all will ruin him as he has no understanding of how to pay any of the bills and has had someone to do it for him, even before we got together 8 years ago. He will more than likely lose the car, even though he can afford it currently. As for our kid, he isn't much of a father. I have to tell him when to change the diaper, when to work on potty training, and when to feed. All he really does is play, which too roughly in my opinion, and yell. It will be a stipulation in the divorce that he won't have to pay me anything if he signs over custody without a fight. He doesn't see or speak to his 2 other kids, so I know he won't fight me on this. He pays child support for them, and I know he doesn't want to lose more money to child support. If he chooses to fight for once, then I'll have more than enough evidence to get custody and whatever child support the judge grants. I know how this sounds, and I don't intend on keeping him from his child either way, but he willingly chose to not keep in contact with his other 2 kids, so I don't see ours being any different, and I will not allow him to walk in whenever it's convenient for him, which is what he did to the other 2. I apologize for the long post. I've been sitting on this for a while and needed somewhere to get it out. Edit? A lot of you are making assumptions based on your own thoughts, so let's clear some things up. Things with his ex-girlfriend were rocky before I came along. He attempted to make an effort to see his kids before we were married, until she took off to a different state with no warning, and cut any form of contact. We weren't able to see or hear from them for over 2 years. After she came back, we saw them as often as she would let him. He didn't cut contact until after my child was already born. Yes, there were red flags about his behavior before we were married. I was young and naive. I really didn't know what to look for until a few years later. I even brought those flags up to him, and every time since. I call him out on his behavior, and I don't sit by and take it. Some of you have been really nice and supportive, and I appreciate all of you. Those of you offering advice on your own thoughts and wisdom on a snapshot of my situation need to go back and read the rules for the sub. I did not come here to get opinions. I came here to get something off my chest, as the title of the sub suggests. Now for the comments. That cheating alone is a deal breaker. When he did it before, I stayed to be vindictive to the ex he cheated on me with. Also something I've never admitted. Now it was the last wave to an already sinking ship. The relationship is dead to me, and will be officially dead when I'm able to support myself and my child without his help. Damn, lady, you've been through a lot. Let him blow up his finances on his own. Carry out your plan to leave. Don't touch him while you're finishing your degree. Only reply to him in yeses and nos. It's going to freak him out. He'll probably try and do more, as in anything other than rough fun time dad, without you asking. Let him. Once you're able, peace out and leave. And don't look back except to watch him burn his own life down to the ground. This is the way. I'm glad for you, but I can't fathom marrying and having a kid with a man who willingly doesn't see his own kids. You knew from the get-go he was a trashy person. Yeah, this wasn't a 180. I hope he ignored the signs. He will be different this time. I will change him. Deadbeat parents should tell you all you need to know. And deadbeat parents are usually people who will never change. I don't want to twist a knife in for Opie personally, and I'm happy she woke up. And at the end of the day, the husband is the main problem here. But people, especially women, should see this comment and take note. These guys don't change. And stop getting with men who are deadbeats.